There is a theme running in the games that I play. Hello my treasure, welcome back to another games I recently completed a recap video. And in today's recap video we have these 3 games that I recently completed. I completed them back in end of May. And we have a visual novel. We have a shooter. Yes, I know. Why? Different from the type of games that I play. And we have a cooking sim combat. It's not a cozy game. I don't know. It's a cooking simulation, battle simulation game. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Have you ever played a game where you are like, this is so deep for a game, which actually they also sugar-coated and made it a bit spicy? And that is for me Hoka Haze. So yeah, Hoka Haze is a game which was recently released for the Nintendo Switch. It came in a special edition box. I made a video on the special edition box. So if you want to see the unboxing of the special edition, I recommend you check out that video. But if you want to know about my experience playing Hoka Haze and completing the full game, then yeah, stick with this video. So in this game, you play the manager of a Hoka lounge called Toru, and Toru is terminally ill. So you start off where he is in the hospital getting the confirmation that he is terminally ill and that he is in his final weeks. And he gets to have one final wish to maybe see the world or do things or go on a holiday. However, Toru decides to be for 2 weeks the manager of a Hoka lounge, which very interesting, right? That you choose on your final moments that you want to be a manager of a relaxing cafe. So this game is a visual novel, and Toru meets 3 interesting characters in his time where he is the manager of the Hoka lounge, which are Amu, Kokoro, and Kurumi. And in this visual novel, you get to experience together with Toru and the 3 girls the hardship that comes with living in a big city and just the day-to-day challenges that these girls faces. And it is quite an interesting visual novel. There is also an element of, I don't want to say cooking, right? Because it's not per se cooking, but you make every day at the end of your shift, you make a type of Hoka flavor and publish that Hoka flavor on your social media. And depending on which Hoka flavor you make, 1 or maybe 2 or maybe 3 of the girls pop up in your store, because each of the girls has a preference for certain types of Hoka flavor. This game also has multiple endings, and if you get all the endings, you can also unlock the true ending, which is very beautiful. And I definitely recommend for this game trying to get all the various endings to also see the true ending, because it really is a beautiful story about the hardships of life and how just some simple deeds from a stranger can help out a lot. So yeah, Hoka Haze, I didn't expect it to be this good actually. I gave this game a 9 or a 90% because I just really liked. And I also like the aesthetic of this game, right? The blue, purplish, white aesthetic is very calming and very relaxing. And also the soundtrack in this game is amazing. And you can put on different songs during your conversations with the girls in the Hoka lounge. And it's really nice so that you can really tweak it towards, like your mood that you're feeling. And you get, and with this copy of the game, I also got the digital download for the soundtrack. So I also got the soundtrack digitally. And yeah, it's a very nice, relaxing soundtrack. Sometimes with a bit of, sadness in it. which of course is understandable considering, of course, our main protagonist is terminally ill. But really, it is a really nice experience. It took me about 9 hours to fully complete the game. Again, I went for all the endings, which is not that difficult, right? Because a lot of the dialogue is the same. And once you have played it one time, you know what type of flavors each and every character likes. So you can really aim for getting the story of the other characters in your next playthrough. But yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed this game. It has a lot of depth actually in it. The art style is amazing. And don't be too judgmental if it looks a bit fan servicey. It's, for me, it was very not present anymore. There is a reason why she dresses the way she dresses. There is for each and every character, there is a very specific reason why they dress the way they dress. Their outfits really represent where they are stuck in life now. So yeah, it's not actually a fanservice game. It really is a story-driven game with multiple endings, and I really recommend, if you can get a copy of Hoka Haze, definitely get it. I got this one quite cheap. It was not that expensive on Play Asia. It was 38 euros. That included, as you can see there, the special edition box, some smaller, very cute, they're standing there, acrylic stands, and also a shaker, a water shaker. So yeah, for a game which is very interesting and a lot of goodies in there, that is a very nice price. They did a very good job on this release. Then the next game that I played, I really just bought because the name was just awesome, and that is called Made of the Dead. And Made of the Dead is a shooter pixel game, which really you just have to survive a zombie apocalypse, basically. It's a zombie apocalypse with a fan servicey type of collectible in there. Yes, I know, right? If you see Made of the Dead, you see the outfits, you kind of get a feeling like, okay, I kind of know what this is about. And yeah, it is in the same type of art style that you also have with a Sentimental Deathloop and with Livestream. But this is not a visual novel. Yes, there is a heavy story element in it. So it does have characteristics of a visual novel. But this is a shooter game. Okay, because you need to upgrade your gear and you need to survive hordes of zombies, and each and every zombie wave that you need to complete is, you need to collect during your fighting. You need to collect upgrades for your weapon, for your character, in order to survive every time more difficult waves of zombies attacking you. So you follow the main character, Nagisa, who is trapped, in this zombie apocalypse, and they are in Akihabara. Yes, of course, everything happens in Akihabara, or everything happens at Tokyo Tower. So this game plays in Akihabara, which is really fun, right? Because also the backdrop really does remind me of Akihabara. And you work as a maid, and you have lost your friend during that zombie apocalypse, Rinka, and you want to save her. During your first mission, you come across Cannon, who is a scientist, but also knows a thing or two about weapons. And she helps you along the way to upgrade your weapons and to also cure your friends from the horrible zombie transformation. I'm not going to spoil anything additional than I have just did, but this game is very awesome, and you need to find all the mates and all the mates you can play with later on, and just blast your way through a zombie horde. This game actually I played for quite a long time. I played it for almost 27 hours. That had to do with, again, there are collectibles. And there are, let's say, cultured collectibles in this game. And in order to achieve all the cultured collectibles, you needed to survive quite some zombie hordes. Let's leave it at that. Yes, because if you want to unlock the final character, you need to survive 30 minutes of just ongoing zombies trying to kill you. And trust me, that's not easy. I did do it in one try, but also the final boss, that took also quite some... that took nearly 2 hours to beat. So, this game really is quite interesting. And again, if you want to get everything, you are actually in for the long haul, because some of the missions are survive 10 minutes of zombie horde, survive 15 minutes of zombie horde. So, and it just keeps on increasing, right? The farther you are along. So yeah, if you are ready to spend some time and you like shooter games and you also like, you know, like the type of fan servicey games with a bit of story in it, yeah, Made of the Dead is definitely worth it. I love the pixel art style. So the whole reason why I got it was because I love pixel art style. And of course, because it's a cultured game, okay? And again, this is part of my cultured collection. But yeah, I also like pixel art games, and this is just the best of both worlds. That's why I gave this game a 8.5. The reason for a bit of the deduction has to do with, in order for me to get the final character, it took a long time. And it had nothing to do with my skills in this point. It had all to do with the prerequisite to get it just takes that long, right? Survive 30 minutes of zombies just running at you. So yeah, I mean, I did complete it in 30 minutes, but that's just, you are just going on and on for 30 minutes trying to survive. Definitely, you know, like if you like fan servicey games, like shooter games, definitely pick this one up. It's fun, okay? It's really fun to play this one. Okay, now comes the game where I just want my life back, okay? So here we have Crucineer. And when I first saw the trailer of Crucineer, I was like, yep, totally my type of game. Totally something I would like, right? Because it does have some affinities with Rune Factory. No, there is no farming in here, but there is combat and there is cooking in it. And I was like, okay, I like that, right? Fighting, getting ingredients, cooking recipes, and, you know, like going through a story which is interesting, and then, you know, like having all the foods and all the recipes collected. What more can you ask, right? I like those type of games. Again, I like collecting games. I like grinding. I have no problem with that. So this game really should have felt like a game I would love. And I do think I love this game, but here comes the but. This game has the most horrible load times in the whole freaking world. Okay, I'm used to load times for Little Nightmares on the Nintendo Switch. Okay, so I know what horrible load times is. I know it. Okay, I know what horrible load times are. And I'm patient, right? I'm okay. But because going from your bedroom to your store, which is the same building, right? It's just one door in between. It takes 2 hours to load. So then if you accidentally, after, you know, like you entered your restaurant, and you accidentally push the back button again, right? And you turn, which means, you know, like you go back to your bedroom, you need to wait another 2 hours, 2 minutes before it loads. And then you need to wait another 2 minutes because then you can go back again. Yeah, okay. Leaving your restaurant and going into the city, which is also one door, right? You go through the door, go into 2 minutes, 3 minutes sometimes. I was like, okay, you know what? Can't deal with this. But I did deal with it because I like these types of games. And there's nothing wrong with this game itself. As in with the story of this game, with just the regular mechanics of this game. I like the fighting. I have to be honest, I needed to put it on almost the lowest settings because I don't mind dying, okay? And I don't mind going back and forth and back and forth. But if the loading takes so long, yeah, I beat this game on one of the easier settings because I just couldn't afford to die. At the beginning, I put it on the max difficulty because I was like, how hard can it be, right? And then I die a couple of times. Then I do some grinding, get better. You know, it's all good. No. No. You don't want to die in this, okay? You just don't. Because then you need to load. And then you need to load multiple times. So I was like, no, I can't deal with that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put it on the lowest setting so that I don't die, okay? So yeah, Cruising Here. What is Cruising Here about? So you are this adorable little kitty humanoid called a Pom. And one day you get a letter from your parents saying, we're off on a cruise and bye-bye. You know, like take care of the restaurant. And then, you know what, you're like, okay, you know, let's take care of the restaurant. And then you find out that your restaurant is kinda empty. There's nothing left there. So you need to start building your restaurant. But of course, after you had your first day of sales, the Mr. Taxman comes along and says, oh yeah, by the way, you know, like your parents left, but they didn't pay their taxes. So now this debt, it's yours. And if you don't pay me back, yes, it's like a Tom Nook type of thing, right? If you don't pay me back, we're repossessing your restaurant. So there's no, don't be afraid, there's no time limit, okay? You can easily pay off your debt. However, you need to pay off your debt in order to advance in the story game. So repaying your debt is important, but also upgrading your gear is important, right? Because you want to make more money in sales in your restaurant. But in order to make more money in sales in your restaurants, you need to upgrade your restaurant equipment and you need to attract a higher clientele and also avoid people running off and not paying for it. It didn't happen that much in my whole playthrough, but maybe that also had to do with I was just hawk-eyeing everybody, okay? You pay because I needed to go back to dungeons to get ingredients and that would take long load time. So no. There's no money going outside anywhere. It's nope, not gonna happen. So, and once you pay off your initial tax, right, you're happy and you're like, yay, I can advance the story. And then Mr. Taxman comes back again because apparently you get another letter from your parents and your parents racked up quite some debt again, which they, you know, like didn't want to mention to you. And you're like, oh, great. Now I need to pay off more debt. So yeah, you pay off more of your debt and again, advance further in the story. So it's basically, you know, like a debt collecting game where you just need to pay off your debt. I'm not going to spoil more because the ending is very funny. I am happy that I completed this game. It took me 45 hours to complete this game. This is not 45 hours, okay? This game is not 45 hours. This game is a maximum of somewhere between 15 to 20 hours. Yes, because of the load time, it took me twice as long. Just loading the game. Took this game twice the amount of time. The amount of frustration I had with this loading, it was horrible, okay? A NES game has shorter loader times than this game, okay? An NES game on a console, which is almost 40 years old, has slower load times than this. I couldn't deal with it, okay? But I had to see this through the end. And also, the most annoying part where I actually spent the most time on was in the final parts where you had to do a cook-off. And if you lose that cook-off, you had to start from scratch all over again and you had to take all those loading times again. So Yeah, Crucineer, I really wanted to like this game, but because of the horrible load times, I just couldn't enjoy it to its full potential. It's just, I find it so sad because it is a good game. It's just, don't buy it on Switch, okay? Don't buy it for the Nintendo Switch. I might test it out if the load times are shorter on the Switch too. Maybe I'll do that and just insert that after this video. But don't play this on a regular Switch. Don't ever do that. Buy it on PC for all I care, right? Buy it on another console. I don't know on which consoles this game has been released, but just don't play it on Nintendo Switch. Never, ever. It's a good game, but don't. This game also is going to stay in my collection just as a reminder that there are still horrible loading time games. And because I've completed it. So yeah, this game, I really wanted to get more out of it and collect all the recipes. That's the one thing I did not do. So I did finish it, but I did not collect all the other recipes because I couldn't be bothered going through all those load times. So I might get back to it if it's better on the Switch too, but I don't know. This is what the inside looks like. I'm very angry about this, right? Because if this was not there, it was a very pretty inside. But yeah, they just had to put, I don't know. They had to put this here, which, you know, warnings. I'm fine with download warnings on the front cover because then I know I don't have to buy it. But I am not happy with this. It's in French and it doesn't say that this game loads slow, okay? It's just some things which are mandatory to put on games. So yeah, that is the final game in the 3 games that I beat recently. Let me know which of these 3 games are you interested in, or have you already played? Or do you, based on what you just saw here, have recommendations? So now you know a bit of my taste in games, right? So I've done a lot of recap videos already, so now you know my taste. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. Might be that that game is already somewhere in my backlog. Could be the case. But yeah, let me know if there's any game that you recommend me playing based on the games that you've just saw. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. And as always, I say, miss you, love you, bye-bye.